Okay, that's live, that's muted, it's all good. Give me another couple seconds. Okay, we are here for the top cut. Oh, wait, why is that lit up? Okay, cool. Top cut game for Clan Wars, Sanoshi versus Yoeresel. See if we can get a minute to cover the decks real quick, and then we shall do this. It's good to be streaming the Clan Wars again. I got tied up for the Invitational, which was a blast. But we're back to the big event of Clan Wars. Sanoshi is running a deck he's called Lion Still Bottom Tier, which is funny because he's in the top cut here. You've got Keeper of Fire Dragons, so we're going to see Ancient Masters, Tattooed Wanderers, and Let Goes. Unsurprising splash. Kensenogaka, Feast, Shameful, Arbor, Upholding, fairly standard. Looking at this, I assume Shameful is going to be on the box. Kabe Guard, which we don't see very often, but he's using it to steal favor. Fearless Skirmisher, to get rid of Dishonored tokens. Sonuri 2 is the RL card. And then standard Lion stuff in Totori Ujiaki, Master Tactician. We do see some standard rounds, which are kind of interesting. Works well with not Call to War, Prepare for War, and all of his tacticians, and Exposed Courtyard to replay a bunch of stuff. Yoeresel's deck is IMC Dragon, Seeker, Fire, Crab Splash. So cheap attachments and lots of them. Katanas, fans, Pathfinder's Blades, Seals, Daishos, Fingers, Reprieves, and Jade Tetsubos. He's going to have big old towers. Not a whole lot in the way of events, so any cancels that... So Censures might not actually be doing a whole lot here. On the Dynasty side, we've got fairly standard Dragon stuff. Nothing terribly surprising. Neat Master makes a whole lot of sense. It'll be interesting if the extra attachments can make up, or if the bonus from Mountains Anvil Castle's extras attachments can make up for having extra attachments on IMC. Cycle of Rebirth is a good province clear. Season of War is good for mass province clear. Hidden Mountain Pass, turn things face down. That's there presumably because it's got Rally. None of his things are super on reveal provinces. So that is the decks we're looking at. And oh, hang on. I don't seem to have a camera. That's interesting. Guess we're doing this without a fake cam. Sorry, you guys don't get to look at me. I was doing a stream earlier where I had to have a face cam, or I had the camera was being used by a different application, and I didn't restart Streamlabs like a tool. So this is the world we have to live in. Make sure everything else is turned on. Cheat sheets ready. Okay. I expect, pardon me, that I kind of like Sanoshi for this game. I think he's very, very strong player, relatively new to the game as well. I have not seen Yoeresel play before, so unfortunately I can't speak to that. Although I am super curious to see if IMC can do any work. It's actually a decent flip for Yoeresel. Sanoshi has a Spirit Caller, which is not super great, LPB, and a Master Tactician. Yeah, I do favor him a little bit because he's a local as well. Thank you for pointing that out. This is 100% unbiased streaming going on here. Yoeresel's on the play. Cycle gets rid of the LPB. I expect we're going to see Sanoshi answer with a Season of War because he has a bunch of buys that aren't great right here. Spirit Caller is kind of pointless. Turn 1 and Master Tactician is a bit of an investment. And Yoeresel got a Raitsugu out of that, which is really, really good. Oh, we see him go for a Master Tactician and a pass. Yoeresel gets the Doom Shigenja. I expect maybe Nagasha Swordsmith and then a pass. And bang some Fate for a big old tower next turn. Master Tactician does give Sanoshi access to a bunch of cards he wouldn't have otherwise. Yoeresel makes me look like an idiot and buys a Raitsugu. Both players bid 5 because cards are good. That one Fate means that Jade Tetsubo is still an option. Oh, is he an honorary Mad Dog, Oscar? Oh, we see a Cloud the Mind hit Master Tactician, making him a bit of a potato until we see a Prepared for War. Which we can easily see off of the quarter of his deck that he has in hand. Although he is only running 2 Prepare for Wars. Hopefully that doesn't end up biting him in the butt. Raitsugu finds the Art of War, which I think Sanoshi is probably happy to let go away. It will kill the Master Tactician though, which is probably a fair... Nope, decides to defend. So if we see a Jade Tetsubo come down, we're going to have some attachments played to get above it. If you're defending on the Void Ring, you don't want to see it go away. You don't want to see the Master Tactician go away. Prepare for War would be really good. Turn on his ability. And also make him a very large body. Logistics gets played. Draw a card. I never did set up that lion bid to card draw counter. It feels a little unfortunate. So there's a bonsai coming down. And bonsais to go over. So if we see a Raitsugu duel, Sanoshi will have to bid to win. Although at that point it doesn't matter. We see another logistics blade. Kind of surprised he's not trying to save the Spirit Caller for later turns. But he's probably got plenty more in his deck. So there's the bid. Both players bid 1, which means this Void Ring is not super hot anymore. Favorable ground sends the Tactician home. So he'll still get the cards out of it. And now the Void Ring feels a little extra bad. Pathfinder's Blade to shut down the Art of War, but that gets let go. And there's a pass. So we see a irrelevant ring basically get traded for a break and 3 cards, which I think worked out pretty good for Sanoshi, especially since Yoeresel dropped the Cloud to Mind. Now he bought him with 1 Fate, Oscar, and had Raitsugu duel happen mid-conflict, which also devalues the Cloud the Mind that's on there. So even though Sanoshi's losing a character, given how Art of War just popped, and we're probably going to see, I'd guess, a water conflict here to stop a second break. Sanoshi actually came out ahead on that exchange. Oh, he chooses to pass his conflict. Okay. Alternatively, we could also see him drop Call to War to refate the Tactician, but since he's just a big potato right now, that's less likely. It is also getting him favor. And that's a pass, and I think that is good for Sanoshi, because now there's no reason for him not to attack, and he's going to keep pressing the hand advantage. Hitting Restoration is going to super suck, but it's also kind of better to hit that early rather than later. Let me see if maybe I can try and force my camera to come back on. Oops. Does hit Resto. That is a sad, sad hit. So those cards from Art of War are now gone. I don't think Sanoshi has an eject or anything, so this is just going to be what it is. Ancient Master gets played at home, so he's still going to get favor, so those censures will be available for what few cards there are. A whole bunch of fans. Court games up, sure. This restoration balance is actually just going to equalize the hand sizes after this. Earth Ring is by far the best ring to hit on restoration. Oh, there we go. I can see you people now. Or rather, you can see me. Cool. Alright, pitches a dice show. Loses 2 Spirit Color Prodigies to the Resto, pitches a dice show off the Earth Ring. All in all, I think that was, outside of the Resto hit, a good turn for Sanoshi. Hitting Resto, not super great. I know. I got my hearted. And a big old beard to go with it, because when I don't have to look professional because I'm working from home, I choose not to. Alright, we see Miwaku Kabe come out. So that is basically going to guarantee the favor. I expect we're going to see the other Miwaku Kabe bot. And then the Cycles of Rebirth will probably hit the Exposed Courtyard. This is not the longest my beard has ever been. The longest it's been is like another 4 inches, 5 inches on this. We do see the cycle hit the Exposed Courtyard. I'm probably going to continue growing out my beard until I cannot anymore. There's a scenario with one fate, so now Yoeresel's provinces are basically irrelevant. Right, Sugu dupes, not too shabby, and I expect we're going to see 5 bids from both players here. Yoeresel probably going to have to start towering up that right Sugu to be able to pose problems. And with 2 swordsmiths, he's going to find all the things he wants. Apparently the sun is coming out and blinding me, and also washing me out on camera, so you get to see a bearded ghost. Finds the seal of the dragon. So Raitsugu is going to be a monk. And the other one finds a fine katana. So I think Sanoshi can do a cheeky political attack here to bait out the duel on the Ancient Master. Attacking into a Raitsugu, though, when you've got one fate on a bunch of characters is a little sketchy. Gonna go military fire. Hopefully he has a plan for Raitsugu shenanigans, especially since he hits a shameful. If Sonuri dies, Raitsugu is gonna be a problem much later on. Oh, and there's a cloud. Hopefully there's another let go. How many clouds is that out of Yoeresel? We've seen 2 so far. Those are his 2 clouds. There's a let go. Stops shameful from happening. Sanoshi is now free and clear of clouds. That turn 1 cloud on the tactician did not feel super great since it died after that turn. So there's a seal, most likely for hurricane punches. We know there's a fine katana in hand, so Sanoshi can't not play cards. Drops a katana, trying to just stay ahead of the Raitsugu numbers. There's the hurricane punch, so it's now 5-4, which is still okay. Still winnable on that duel. Makeshift war camp makes his numbers really big. So now he's still 1 up ahead on the Raitsugu, but there can be it's 5-6. But like we know, there's a fine katana and another hurricane punch. There's definitely a lot being invested in this because it is a relatively important conflict. Being able to take the fade off Sonuri is a big deal. That pass makes me a little sad. There's a let go. Censure would be really good here. There's good censure control. Not blowing it on hurricane punches. Oh, there's the second let go. and no censure for that. So we are likely to see that Sanuri get killed here, or rather lose its fate. Yoeresel's going to have to play a fine katana here. Oh, Jade Tetsubo. Oh no, that Sanuri's dying this turn. And there's a let go for that. That is good use of cards. There is still a fine katana that's going to come down. So Sanoshi's going to have to play some more cards here, otherwise he's going to have some potato copy guards. That is that's the third let go. There's one bid, so Sanuri is in fact dying this turn. His Kabe guards are potato guards. I think he spent those let goes on good targets. Right, the Pathfinder's Blade was a good hit. Jade Tetsubo was a good hit. Hyaku no Shiro straightens Sanuri. Yoeresel kind of in a bit of a bind here for an attack. Finds upholding. We see a defense with Sanuri because Raitsugu cannot straighten. Ooh, pardon me. Raitsugu really can't straighten here. And 5 political is a pretty good number as long as he doesn't run at shameful. Don't think there's anything you need to really worry about here. You just pass. Yoeresel would have to burn a bunch of cards to get the win. Raitsugu. Defending UA does feel bad, but I don't think Yoeresel was ever going to push for a break on upholding. And Sanoshi's other provinces are Feast or Famine and Kensen Nogaka in the row. No, he does push for a win, though. And there's the assassination. That is forever the risk of not putting a finger of Jade on a swordsmith. I like that defense because it didn't force, but it enticed Yoeresel to play a card and pay an honor. So even after the assassination, Sanoshi is still up. Watering getting claimed kind of feels bad because the Ancient Master going water would have been nice. But I think we're going to see an Earth conflict here and just keep pressuring hands. Yoeresel's got this still, all according to plan. I mean, he's in a good spot, right? Sanoshi's been light fading his characters, and that is definitely an environment where Raitsugu thrives. And you know, he's got 2 fade on him. We've seen 1 dupe. There's 3 Raitsugus. So, Yoeresel is in a good spot here. He might take another break. Um, but he can also, you know, threaten a return break because the swordsmith. Oh, we see a Tessin stance Sonuri up. So I guess we go back to shameful. Right? You just send everyone at shameful. Earth. Nope. Air. Force of defense, I guess. Since he is at 7 honor. Um, the dishonored. Well, he doesn't have any fate, so all of that doesn't matter. I don't know if I'd go to shameful here because he is also running upholding and feast or famine, and those are great things to see when they're blank. And if he's got a call to war in his hand, then Sonuri can stick around and continue doing damage. And we do see him find upholding, which is pretty good when hand sizes is small. I know I just looked at the list, but is Yoeresel on assassinations? No, so he doesn't have anything he can really do here, unless he wants to dump his hand and uh, hit a Void Fist or something. He loses a reprieve, which is not the end of the world. Um, since this is open decklist and he had the reprieve in hand, kind of felt like he should have dropped that on the swordsmith before bonsaiing it. Since Sanoshi is on just one assassination. Back to upholding on air. We've seen 2 ornate fans out of Sanoshi, so it's unlikely he has a third, even if he's running 3. He is running 3, so he can't force a break here. He is pushing for a break on his own. All right. That might feel real bad if Sanoshi has a call to war in hand. We see a Tetsubo, a Pathfinder's Blade, and another Tattooed Wanderer. I think the clear thing you take here is, why didn't he play the Pathfinder's Blade? That must have been, I mean, granted, it's not super pertinent, because either way you'd still have 2 cards in your hand. But I think you'd want to protect the Jade Tetsubo, because Raitsugu with a Tetsubo is straight going to murder people. And maybe the idea was to present a choice between Pathfinder's Blade and Jade Tetsubo, but I don't think there's any world in which the Jade Tetsubo isn't the right answer. Honor totals are tied, so we're going to see 5 bids into next turn. Sanoshi's slight card advantage. Yoeresel has a much better board, though. There's a call to war. Don't expect we'll see honor exchanged. So we're going to have Raitsugu and Sonuri kind of squaring off a little bit. Raitsugu can't really attack because then Sonuri won't be in the way, but if Sonuri is in a conflict on the attack, Raitsugu needs to be there to use the provinces. There's a Master Tactician. There's a Sonuri dupe. That stings a little bit. I would probably Seasons here if I was Yoeresel, because that Sonuri dupe is going to cause issues. And the honored veterans on a Master Tactician is nothing to sneer at either. Although the favorable grounds do give Yoeresel the ability to get in any conflict, but I think not seasoning is a mistake. So we're going to see a Sonuri dupe, Neat Master of 2 cards is not the hottest in the world, especially since one of them is a Pathfinder's Blade, and or only one of them is a weapon. I think you buy the Master Tactician with 2 fate, 1 fate. See, I don't like this 1 fate in business. And then we're going to see honored veterans get played. Oh, maybe not, because it's each. Honored Neat Master is a bit problematical. Because the Master Tactician's big. Problem is, Neat Master's not exactly tiny on his own and gets to be in more conflicts. But we see Sanoshi go for it. Both players bid 5. And there's a Swordsmith dig. So the favorable grounds means we're probably going to see Yoeresel and Neat Master aggressively walk forward. Finger of Jade is very helpful. So yeah, especially since there's a Tattooed Wanderer in hand, we see a Finger of Jade get played for free. Tattooed Wanderer given the Neat Master Covert basically guarantees a break this turn. And the favorable grounds let you move Yoeresel around as needed. Is Yoeresel on any Ways of the Dragon? No. Okay, so he's not going to get double dueled by Yoeresel. And we do see the Neat Master get a Tattooed Wanderer. So Yoeresel is quite likely to be on box. Oh, I guess Kensen Nogaku's on the box? That's kind of interesting. Okay, we see a relatively big defense from Sanoshi. Well, at least he's thinking about it. This isn't too shabby, actually. We'll probably see the Neat Master swap tokens with Sonuri, which will be a big ol' 4/4 swing. There is a monk, so Void Fist is a relative concern. Problem is, the target you'd want to Void Fist is going to be bigger anyway. Unless there's never Seal the Dragon in hand. Interesting. We see Shameful on the Tattooed Wanderer and Sonuri, not the Neat Master. I don't know how I feel about that. Because that's not nearly as... Oh, because there's a Finger of Jade. I'm an idiot. It's fine. That makes total sense. We do see Raitsugu come in. That's a very aggressive move. It is breaking Shameful. We do have an exposed courtyard though. And what is that going to get? Logistics. I can get a Let Go or a Bonsai. Pitches a Bonsai and Called to War off the exposed courtyard, and he's going to pick Let Go. So that's probably going to hit the Katana. It's currently 5-7, so not really duelable, although he can kill the Malaku Kabe Guard, but that's not really providing you any bonuses. Might be looking to kill the Finger of Jade. Killing the Seal is a longer term play, since, you know, with Raitsugu being in the conflict, and Hyaku no Shiro being available for a stand, it is very possible that Sanoshi is attacking box this turn as well. See a Bonsai happen. Stopping the break here would be a very big deal. Even if you let Shameful break after this conflict, you're still ahead. So 12-12 is really good. Void Ring will probably hit the Master Tactician. Oh, we see a pass. Do you take this pass? Or do you play a card into it to try and bait more cards out? Because he could play, I think he might be out of Katanas. No, he's probably running a full set, so there's one more in there. He could play a Tattooed Wanderer or an Ancient Master into this, but then he has no fate for a Tessin stand on Sonuri. Okay, we see the Let Go hit the seal, so we're for a more aggressive play. Yoeresel really needs to try and force a break here. And we don't see that, so Raitsugu didn't get used, so Sonuri's going to get the token taken off of her, so the favorable ground can move in Raitsugu. Problem is, she's still 7 military, so you have to invest cards to force the duel into an auto-win state. Daisho on the Neat Master. Feast or Famine is the other face-down card. And the Neat Master has another stand on him from the Pathfinder's Blade we know is in hand. I think, I mean, yeah, the Feast or Famine is definitely the one you want to run at. Sonuri stands, so we're probably going to see Raitsugu get moved into this conflict. 7, so Neat Master's also at 7, so Political's probably your best bet for this. Because then you are at 412. Although you might want to save that for a box attack. So water, takes water off the table. Okay. Neat Master's still going to stand. I'd almost like an Earth Ring better. Goes at Shameful, so he's going to attempt to honor the Milwaukee Kabe guard off of this as well. Oh, no, Sonori's may not be going. Okay, Master Tactician and the Milwaukee Kabe guard. Oh, everyone's going. That works too. Problem with that, though, is that, I mean, you're going to give up a province anyway. I feel a little befuddled by this board state, because you want to go in hard enough to force a block to eat a bow from the Neat Master. But you want to save the Master Tactician for defense, enough for defense for a swing on the box. So we see Sonori and the Milwaukee Kabe at Shameful. Sanoshi stands, yeah, maybe stands. Tessens could do some work. There's a seal, so the Sacred Sanctuary on the box is turned back on in a meaningful way. Earthling is good because with 4 cards in hand, you might get lucky enough to hit the attachment, or the weapons, the Pathfinder's Blade. Okay, Way of the Lion. Start ramping up those numbers. We're at breaking. Also makes it unlikely for Raitsuga to do anything if he moves in on favorable. We see a move home, so that's fine. I don't like that move home. I think it was kind of unnecessary. Hits a Void Fist. That's definitely a good hit. If Sanoshi has a Tessin, Yoeresel's in a world of hurt. Because he's got the Fate for it. Blanking Sacred Sanctuary is kind of a big deal. He can't just play the Pathfinder's Blade anyway. To stand. I think Yoeresel has to attack, and Political Water is definitely a good one. Tactician gets converted. Raitsuga is going to stand up, but that's not going to be super pertinent. So there's a Shameful break. Raitsuga stands up. There's a Pathfinder's Blade on the Neat Master. So we are looking at, oh, and there's a Tessin, so good thing that happened, otherwise Sacred Sanctuary would be blank. I think that was absolutely a misclick. I think he should have pitched the other Tessin, although it's a political conflict, so I guess that isn't such a big deal. So we were looking at 6, 8 to 13, which is enough to break quite easily. This is the first time we'll see a Master Tactician in a conflict this whole game. Air is much, I say much more, it's more useful than fire, although neither of them are particularly impactful to the board state right now. I think if Sanoshi doesn't win this conflict, he is going to be in a bit of a problem. Maybe. Okay, IMC is +2, so 4 is the magic number to win by. He does have a lot more cards in hand, so that's going to help on top of the cards from the Master Tactician. Doesn't have any fate though, so I don't think he's going to see I don't, unless he's got fan, no, we see just straight passes. Nothing doing about that. Fire's probably going to dishonor from Neat Master. So Sanoshi will be first player. Really wants to find another Sonuri. Both players on box. This is kind of coming down to the wire. Oh, stand your ground on Sonuri. Who needs a dupe? Honored veterans, I don't think should stick around unless you've got a. No, he pitches it. I was gonna say unless you're kind of counting on a the Spider-Man. What the fuck is his name? Why have I gone stupid all of a sudden? Zentaro. Ooh, Toturi. That would have been a good reason to keep it. And a Spirit Caller. And a Lion's Pride Brawler. There's a Mitsu and a Tranquil Philosopher. It's a big deal. You've only got 7 fate though, so I think if you're going for maximal value, Spirit Caller and an LPB, and then go political. We do see a Spirit Caller, so we'll probably see an LPB as well. Spirit Caller is going to turn 3 political into 5 off the Master Tactician. So we might see a low bid out of Sanoshi. Oh no, passes, doesn't want the LPB. Wants the money for the conflict characters and possibly prepare for wars that are in there. Both players bid 5. And we are going to see, I mean, we have to see a political conflict here, right? Tattooed Wanderer on Sonuri is kind of huge. That means we might actually see a military conflict on this. or still political and just covert Raitsugu. Yeah, coverting Raitsugu feels good. Um, it basically removes the threat of uh, Jake Tetsuboing to kill people. I believe we've seen all the let goes from Yoeresel. Uh, there's two. I know he's on three, so he has one more. I did not see a hawk tattoo. No hawk tattoos. So this covert is actually going to be, yeah, you're right, Hunsucker. Yoeresel has one more left, but did not play it. Sanoshi also has one more fan. Um, I don't know, but I like a military conflict here. You are way ahead of the game on political, and so there are many appropriate curse words. You have your choice. Um, I think I like political better here because he can only defend with 7, and you are coming in with 11 plus the other 5 from the other master tactician. Um, so I definitely think political is the right way to go. Instead, we just see military. Does force a very large defense, as is required. Yoeresel is going to get to draw off of the Hurricane Punches, or possibly play a Void Fist here. Acolyte is definitely going to cause problems for Sanoshi. Makeshift War Camp is a nice answer to the Acolyte. Sanuri getting punched in the gut home is still pretty good because he'll have to burn cards. There's an early katana. I say early katana, a non-post conflict katana, which is answered with his own fun katana. Uh, if Sanoshi can burn out the weapons, I think he's in a good spot too. There's an ornate fan to turn on. Well, no, Void Fist was already turned on, and I just got disconnected. Oh no. And both of them have reconnected as well. Sanoshi passes because he's breaking. He does still have a censure, so Void Fists are not. Yeah, that is an appropriate face. Seal the Dragon stops the break. How big is the Neat Master? 12? 12. Okay, so Void Fist is on the table. To punch home the Tactician. But again, censures are a thing. Ways of the Lion are a thing. The Spirit Caller is a thing. Yoeresel's definitely not out of it, but I think he's definitely got an uphill climb here. There's the Void Fist attempt, and there's the censure. Off the conflict deck. That is spicy. There's a Way of the Lion, and I believe that Way of the Lion is going to end it. I think we are 100% done at this point. Because how many of those have we seen? 1, 2. We've seen 2 Ways of the Lion, and there's a concession. Yeah, because it's entirely possible that Sanoshi can spirit call in the other tactician to dig deeper for Ways of the Lion. Yeah, that was that was a tight game to the wire. I think both players played that really well. Um, I think Yoeresel maybe should have played a Pathfinder's Blade earlier on in the game to protect his Jade Tetsubo. But regardless, that was a good game, and there was a lot of pendulum swinging. I just think Sanoshi managed to squeeze it out a little faster, for all the innuendo that's worth. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm not sure where we are in the Top Cut for the Clan Wars, but if I'm available, I will continue to stream stuff. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.